Hi everybody, happy Thursday, welcome to Lunchtime Live. This is Pia, Stitches and Scraps. Glad to see you guys all here. So, big day today. I have made well, first of all, you know what, let me start off with saying no Lunchtime Live next week, because next week is obviously Thanksgiving, and I'm not particularly celebrating, I'm taking a break. It's a holiday, I figure most people will be busy, so I am going to not work that day. I might even take a couple of days, imagine that. No, I have some larger projects to work on and some catching up to do, so I'm going to take I'm going to be kind of quiet next week. I have a post scheduled for Monday, and then I'm going to be on vacation, I guess, for most of the week, although I will be working in the background. So I have been making some changes to the website. I updated the crochet patterns page because I was using this software that is no longer supported, and somebody told me, you know, I try to get your patterns and it just says it's not working. I'm like, oh no! So I basically had to go reinvent that page entirely, and I'm going to show you, I think this will work here. I'm going to show you the new page. So this is the home page, Stitches and Scraps. If you go here under patterns and tutorials and you go to the free crochet patterns, this is the new page now. I've got all the different categories here, and when you hover over one of them you get all the details. Isn't that cool? I found that little plugin to do that. So that's the new look for that, and I'll be updating these other pages, the knitting patterns, the tutorials, all of these pages I will be updating over the next week or so to look like this. So hopefully you guys like that look. And then on mobile too, it's a little bit different. On mobile, it actually, there we go. The menu collapses into a menu like this, so that's easier to see on mobile. So if you're looking at it on mobile, it'll look like this. You'll have to tap on it to make it do the spinny thing, and then when you click on the link, you get to the pattern. So that is the new website look, at least just for that page. Let me get back to me here. If you guys are watching, say hi. I am looking to see if anybody's watching. Let me see here. Ooh, looks like we got somebody watching. Okay. So that's behind the scenes. The other thing I've been working on, the new pattern that just came out, this is for the Scrappy Stitchers Stash Bash. This is the November Stash Bash pattern. This is the Trim the Tree Pillow. Okay, so I'm going to admit to one little change that I made to the pattern. When I did mine, by the time I finished it, I found that I wasn't quite happy with the amount of overlap, so I added an extra 2 rows of overlap in the pattern. So if you notice a difference somewhere in the picture, I tried to make the pictures work, but if you notice any difference somewhere in the picture, that's why, because I just wanted a little more overlap. I actually made this back piece go up a little bit further so that it overlaps by 13 rows instead of 11, which is what I had here. But the cool thing with this pillow is, I can hide behind it now. The cool thing with this pillow is that you get to decorate it however you want. This decoration isn't actually part of the pattern. The pattern is just the pillow with the tree, and then in the pattern at the point before you do the seaming and all that, it says go ahead and decorate it any way you want. And I have shown how I did this one. I actually lined up the garland where I wanted it, kind of mapped it out, put pins in to mark my place, and then just sewed it in. And all the little sparklies, let me see if I can show you on this camera so that you can see them really close. All the little sparklies are just star-shaped sequins that I happen to have. So that was fun. I got to sew a whole bunch of sequins, and the star is so cool when you look at it up close, but it's actually 4 sequins piled on top of some embroidery, but it kind of blends in from far away, so it didn't show that well in the pictures. But the cool thing with this tree is you can do whatever you want. I wanted kind of a low-key kind of classic look, so I just went simple with the garland and the sparkles. But you could do buttons, you could do big buttons, little buttons, you can do pom-poms, you can embroider anything you want, put a bird on it if you want. Whatever you want to make it yours. The only thing that I'm going to suggest is stick with things that can be sewn on and not glued on, because if you glue something on, you're not going to be able to wash the pillow cover as easily. The glue might come out, that kind of stuff. So stick with stuff that's washable if you want to be able to wash it. And this, I've got to admit, the pillow that's in here, and the reason that it looks a little lumpy from the front, the pillow that's in here has been reused in many projects now, because it's just a cover, right? So it slides off and on like this, and then you take the pillow out, and then you can just fold the cover back on. But this pillow is very well loved. I actually only have, I think, 4 pillow forms, and every time I make a pattern that works like a cover like this, I just reuse the same pillow forms. So I exchange out my pillows often. I probably need some new ones though. I could use more than 4 pillows. Okay, so that is the new pattern. It is in tarja, meaning that every section of color has a different ball attached when you're working on it. So like, grab it again. So like when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the middle of the tree, right? You have 1 ball of red here, 1 ball of cream here, 1 ball of green here, another ball of cream here, and another ball of red there. So 5 balls attached at once. If you are using, and I apologize for the barking, my dog is upset that I'm not giving her the attention she wants right now. But if you, or she saw something outside, who knows. But if you had 5 actual balls of yarn or skeins of yarn attached, that sometimes gets a little unwieldy, and you've got, you know, yarns twisting and stuff in between. So to keep it a little neater, I use these yarn bobbins, which are from Knit Picks. They come in 3 sizes. This is the medium, this is the large, which is what I used for the pattern, and this is the small. Now you don't need these for the pattern, but oh my god, they're so helpful whenever you're doing color work. Obviously this is the Stash Bash pattern, so there's a giveaway associated with it. And the giveaway this time is from We Crochet, which is the crochet branch of Knit Picks. They're like the same company, 2 different names, and you can buy these from either, but they are giving away 1 set of each size. So it's listed correctly in the pattern. I may be wrong when I'm saying this, but I believe it is 6 each of the medium and small, and then 4 of the large. Plus, they're giving you issue number 5 of the We Crochet magazine. So the winner gets all of that, the bobbins and the We Crochet magazine. So it's a great prize package. Make sure you get your entries in. The link is in the description on the video. It is the Stash Bash pattern, the Trim the Tree pillow. Has the giveaway in it. Okay, next thing is we're finished with our cable demos. I've been doing cables for the last 4 weeks with you guys, so I had to come up with something new to demo. I decided I'm going to do Tunisian for a few weeks. Now I have Tunisian tutorials for everything I'm going to show you. I have full tutorials on the blog, and I will link to the appropriate tutorial in each of the videos. But I'm just going to show you kind of short versions of those now. So let's start with the beginning of all Tunisian, or you can't say all, you can never say all in crochet because somebody will come along and do something differently. But the beginning of most Tunisian is a foundation row. Okay, so you start with the number of chains, and you want to chain as many chains as you want stitches, not 1 extra. You don't need a turning chain or anything like that. So I think I've got 8 here, I'm not entirely sure, but this loop that's on your hook always counts as the first stitch. It's coming out of that first chain, it's the first stitch, okay? Tunisian is basically, if you took a single crochet and broke it in half and did all the stitches with 1/2 first and then all the stitches with the second half, a single crochet is draw up a loop and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, right? So if you draw up all the loops first, then you yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, you're breaking it in half and doing all of the first half and then all of the second half. That is the basis of Tunisian. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into each of these chains and pull up a loop just like we would if we were doing a single crochet. Okay? But then we're going to stop and go into the next one and pull up a loop. Okay? And keep doing that in every one of these until you come to the end. Now notice I started with the second chain because this loop that was already on my hook was the first stitch. Okay? And then right into the last one because I did not use a slip knot. There we go. So I have 8 stitches here. So I have 8 loops on my hook. Now this is where Tunisian gets a little different. You have to use a hook that will hold all of your loops. If you're just doing, 5 or 6 stitches, a regular hook is fine because that'll fit in the space that you have on the neck of most regular hooks. But if you're using suppose you're doing 30 stitches, then you need a much longer hook that can fit all of these. If you're doing a blanket or something like that and you've got hundreds of stitches, you might even want a hook with a cord on it, like a circular Tunisian hook is what they're called, where it has a very, very long cord to hold all the stitches. So whatever hook you use, make sure it's got a straight shaft that is long enough to hold all of the stitches you need. Okay, so that's the first half of the foundation row. We picked up the loops. Now the second half of the foundation row, we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 on all of these, okay? Except the first one. The first one, remember we didn't do a turning chain in the beginning? We're going to basically do our turning chain now. So the turning chain happens right here. Basically you're just going to yarn over and pull through 1, which is a chain, right? So there you go, you've done basically a chain right at the end there. Okay, now we're going to start yarn over and pull through 2. And the reason I say basically a chain, it's not really a chain, it counts as a stitch. It's done so that you don't lose one as you're going through and pulling through 2 every time. But it to make it is making a chain, right? Yarn over and pull through 1 loop is making a chain. So in a lot of patterns it will be called a chain, but it's actually counted as one of the stitches. So now you can see we started with 8 stitches and I'm going to point to all 8. Let me zoom in here. There we go. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8 is that turning chain. And that is the foundation row. These vertical bars are, for the most part, for the basic stitches, these are what you're going to be working into when we do more. So that is a foundation row in Tunisian crochet. I'm going to take it out and show it to you one more time really fast. Okay, so I have chained 8. This is the first stitch coming out of the first chain, so I start with the second chain and I pull up a loop in each chain. So then I should have 8 loops on my hook. Okay, there we go, 8 loops on my hook. For the first chain I'm going to just chain 1. Okay, the first stitch I'm going to just chain 1, and then every stitch after that I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2. And that will give me 8 vertical bars that are my stitches. There we go. And that is how you do a foundation row in Tunisian crochet. So for next week I'm going to do, I'm going to continue on Tunisian for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So next week I'm going to do a simple stitch, and then I'll probably show you the knit stitch and the purl stitch maybe. I might show you a reverse stitch too, unless I feel like you guys are getting sick of Tunisian after so many weeks. But next week, no video next week because it's Thanksgiving. So that's all I have for you. Have a good weekend, have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.